Views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
You are listening to the Psychic Professor's Show, The Voices of Spirit Radio, with international medium and spirit artist Dr. Susan Barnes. This hit call-in show will answer any questions you have about spiritual communication through on-air readings and spirit artistry. Get ready to receive breakthrough wisdom to enliven and enlighten your life. To say this show is educational is an understatement. Dr. Susan is the medium through which spirit communication occurs and fills the canvas of your life.
Yeah, that's like music to my ears right now. Psychic Professor Show with Dr. Susan Barnes, the Voices of Spirit Radio. Today, everybody, I'm Dr. Pat. Dr. Susan joining us here today. Spirit communication in everyday life. We were just talking about this. For those of you, let me tell you a little bit here about my colleague, my co-host today, Dr. Susan Barnes. Totally immersed in deep knowledge of spiritual issues. And I'm going to tell you, the radio show is about that. Her life is about that. And all of the programs, everything she does is about that. Today's show, we're opening up those phone lines, and you're going to be able to ask questions about spiritual communication, personal questions about what you're doing, how's it turning out, what you want to know, because this is an accelerated time for change. Dr. Susan Barnes is an international medium, totally off the charts, communication professor, and spirit artist. She is the owner of the Spirit Art Gallery in New York and teaches art classes. And one of the things we know for sure is that creativity, spirituality, and living everyday life, that stuff right there is in each of us. Dr. Susan, tell us about the show today. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, what I wanted to do today was I wanted to make people more aware of the fact that in their everyday life, spirit may be trying to communicate with them. And I have a number of examples where people think, oh, no, I'm just crazy. But they're not crazy. It's really spirit there. And my first example is the idea, how many people find coins on the ground? And when they find, mostly it's pennies, but when they find the penny, its head is up. They never find pennies with the tails up. And that's telling them that someone from spirit's trying to get their attention.
I was just talking about this. So here's what I know about that. Linda's mom, who has moved on, always talked about pennies and pennies heads up. And I got to tell you, I was at a meeting a couple of weeks ago, really bizarro, right, Dr. Susan? I was at a meeting, and this meeting had a bunch of tables in the room. What would be the odds, and Joan loved the number 3, what would be the odds of me getting up from my round table, getting ready to leave, and 3 tables that had been vacated, each of them had a penny heads up in the middle? What are the odds of that?
Not much.
No.
Not much. It's, you definitely know it's spirit trying to communicate. But I also know of a young man where when he goes into rooms, pennies come out of the ceiling around him.
Wow. Wow. Well, here's the question I want to ask you, because this is about today's show. Today's show, we're opening up the phone lines right out of the gate. And, what's going to happen today is our callers will be able to receive a personal spirit communication for our daily lives. For those of you out there, please go ahead and, start to dial in. Benny will put you in the queue. 1-800-930-2819, 1-800-930-2819, or go to the drpatshow.com, write your question in there, or transformationtalkradio.com, post your question in there. Dr. Susan, please let our listeners know, what is today's show very specifically about, and when they call in, what can they expect?
Well, today's show is about the fact that there is all, and we call it physical phenomena, there's all this kind of physical phenomena that occurs every day, but most people don't even notice. So I'm trying to get them to notice.
Wow. What happens when we don't notice? Let's talk about that. What happens when we don't notice? And how does spirit continue to get our attention?
Well, sometimes they'll just repeat things, or sometimes they'll just, they'll keep doing something over and over again until the person goes, oh, what's going on here? I mean, some people understand that they're a little bit psychic. I mean, it's like my mother. My mother, she would know who was on the phone before she picked it up every time. I mean, she just knew that. That's kind of a psychic thing. But spirit will do things like move objects around on us. They'll try to call our name. There's a bunch of different things that they will do to try to get our attention. Well, lots of times it's in nature as well. There's a butterfly that lands on your hand, or there's a particular bird that you see that is spirit reminding you of someone.
Wow. Okay. So there are many ways, at least for me, that I now know when I look back, Dr. Susan, I now know that these were ways spirit was trying to communicate with me. But let's get more specific if we could. I've never really known, except for like I just shared with you, I know that if I see a penny heads up, that's not my mother. I know that's Linda's mother. I know that's Joan, right? But there are many, many ways that spirit tries to get our attention. Sometimes they're subtle, sometimes they're bizarro, right?
Right.
I would like your help in walking us through what some of them are, and how some of the people you've worked with have been able to figure it out.
Well, it's interesting. Lots of times what happens is that people come up to me and they start telling me these stories, but they don't quite believe it really happened to them, or they don't quite believe that it's normal, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I'll give you the strangest one, and this does happen and it does occur. A woman had a gentleman who died in her arms right after a car crash, and his personality went into her for several days until the personality was able to get his family together, and she was able to exchange some energy with his family and kind of do the parting goodbyes. And her husband verified this.
That's my question. I mean, we get these things that happen. We don't know that they're signs. How can people figure it out? Because I can think of some of the oddest things that have happened to me over time. And in the moment that I'm in them, I don't stop and say, well, is that spirit communicating? Can you give us a little guidance as to what we can do to better see, hear, taste, smell, all of the above?
Well, I think, first of all, you have to be open to it. I mean, if you're outside, and especially if you're in nature, if these things happen, realize it's spirit that's bringing this to you. And sometimes when things happen and they seem like, oh, it's too weird, this couldn't be real, this just can't be real. Hey, it is real, and accept it. Don't just deny it. And the more you accept, the more you're going to notice these things.
Well, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, why do I want to notice this? Let's talk about that. What is it why would spirit energy go through all the trouble in their amazing days to get our attention. I got a question that just came in on our instant messaging asking, what are they trying to tell us? Is it that, well, I got to put this sentence together. What are they trying to tell us? Are they trying to guide us? Are they trying to teach us? Are they trying to get us to do stuff?
Well, spirit never gets you to do stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just not the way it is. You are the only one that can make you do stuff. But what they're doing is they're reminding you that they're there, and they're trying to bring a little love into your life. And I'll give you another example.
Yeah.
I was recently down visiting my mother, and this little bird was jumping around on the balcony. And I don't know why, but I was this little bird, and I was reminded of my father. And I thought, gee, this reminds me of him, and which is a nice, pleasant memory for me. So the next day, I was online, and a medium gave me a message, and the message was about a little bird jumping around, and it was associated with my father. So then I had a confirmation that, yes, this really did happen. It was Dad, and what he was trying to do was he was trying to just bring me some reassurance and bring me some comfort because my mother's very ill.
Wow. For those of you out there, we have opened up the phone lines. I just want to let you know, 1-800-930-2819, 1-800-930-2819. Also, please go to the drpatshow.com or transformationtalkradio.com, and right on the right-hand side, I believe you're going to see a box where you can ask your question, or I guess you click on the player, but either way, we're taking your questions, we're taking your calls, and Dr. Susan Barnes is in the house to get you some answers and a new level of awareness. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
How your body takes inside of
Transformation Talk Radio is dedicated to the education and awareness of Lyme disease.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Lyme Talk Radio. I'm Dr. Pat, joined here by
Dr. Nusheen Darvish.
Dr. Pat Basili and Dr. Nusheen Darvish will be bringing the most innovative, groundbreaking information, research, treatment innovations, and stories from those it affects every day.
I'm so excited to be talking about this.
We have so much to share.
Dr. Darvish and I are planning to do is connect the dots.
People suffering with all sorts of chronic diseases, it's time. It is time for them to transform.
Tune into Lyme Talk Radio and help keep our mission strong.
For the loyal listeners out there that have been listening to this incredible show on Lyme disease, we are not going to let you down. We're going to come through stronger and enrich the platform for Lyme disease awareness through Lyme Talk Radio. The message will continue, the conversations will become stronger, and the healing epic.
Are you ready to start winning at the game of life? Lynn Brown, host of Get Into It, Winning at the Game of Life, is here to help you reach places and goals that you never thought possible. Lynn is an intuitive healer with a specialized background in financial healing. She combines her intuitive nature and her wholesome approach to financial planning. To learn more about her financial planning services, contact her personally at intuit.com.
Introducing the Lucid Planet, a digital gathering place featuring cutting-edge, high-vibrational content that will empower and inspire you to become the greatest version of yourself. Visit the Lucid Planet today to stimulate your mind, body, and soul as you connect with a global community of like-minded people. The Lucid Planet is edited by renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly Neff, who is here to help you cope with anxiety, connect to your higher purpose, uncover your true passions, and live your dreams. Dr. Kelly's fresh, compassionate perspective emphasizes growth, transformation, healing, and thriving. Even in the face of adversity, say goodbye to bad news and low vibrational media for good and become part of the larger collective of people working together to navigate the global shift of consciousness and transform the world from within. Join the planet, the Lucid Planet. Visit thelucidplanet.com. Welcome home.
Tune in to the Psychic Professors Show, The Voices of Spirit Radio, with international medium and spirit artist Dr. Susan Barnes on Transformation Talk Radio, featuring a variety of spiritual topics such as psychic art, spiritualism, EVP, psychic development, and mediumship. This hit call-in show provides listeners with breakthrough wisdom to enliven and enlighten their lives. Visit spiritartgallery.net for show days and times.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Before we go to the phones here, what a great day. This is awesome. Before we go to the phones, Dr. Susan Barnes is in the house, and I want to make sure that people know how to find out more about you, Dr. Susan. How can they email you? How can they find out events you're going to be at? All of the above.
Well, for events, they can check my website, which is spiritartgallery, one word, .net. And if they have questions about mediumship or anything, they can email me at psychicprofessors@gmail.com. That's all one word, psychicprofessors with an S on the end @gmail.com.
And we have opened up the phone lines, 1-800-930-2819. We are taking your calls as we speak. We're going to go to the phones. Mr. Benny, who should we chat with first?
Be Sarah calling in from Tacoma. Hello, Sarah.
Hey, Sarah.
Hi there. Hello. I hope you can hear me okay. I'm having some problems with my cell phone.
No, you sound great.
We can hear you.
Yeah,
okay,
totally.
Wonderful. Well, this is my question. I do find pennies all the time, but, I have never put it together that they may be head up, so now I'm going to look for the heads up on the pennies. But my question for Dr. Susan is there something that is being given to me specifically from Spirit that perhaps you could acknowledge for me?
Are you asking me what the message is when you see the pennies?
Or in general? Or in general?
Well, I think, Dr. Pat, in general, because I do see them, and I don't always pick them up because they're everywhere, it seems like. Is that true?
Well, now, my question for you is what relative do you think is associated with them?
Yeah.
Or friend in spirit?
Could you say that one more time again, please?
Sure.
What relative or friend in spirit do you think is associated with the pennies?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any idea? Okay. Well, I have a very dear grandmother that passed quite some time ago, and an aunt as well, and I'm really connecting with feminine energy right now. So probably one of them. I don't have any female friends yet that have made their transition. So,
well, it's interesting that you're saying it's a female because it could, of course, be a male as well. So you pretty much know it's a female spirit that's bringing this to you. And what I would probably say is of those people whichever one was generous to you would be probably the person that's doing it.
Interesting. Okay. Generous in spirit, generous in hearts, and all of that.
Yes.
And wisdom, and that would be my beloved grandmother, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm really sure.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, I feel like I'm complete, and I'm going to start looking. I mean, when I see pennies now on the ground, I'm going to pick them up. I have a little compartment in the door of my car, and I usually put coins and things in there that I find. So I'm going to start looking for the heads up.
I have a question for you before you go. My sense is you have another question for Dr. Susan, but I could be wrong.
Well, I like so many other people. I mean, we're just in huge transition right now. We're feeling so much movement in our lives everywhere. And I don't know that translates, Dr. Pat, into something specific. I'm just riding the waves of ascension, and I'll tell you, I mean, we got to breathe and anchor these energies down all the time, or that just blows our solar plexus up.
No kidding.
So,
no kidding. Yeah. I know. I had a sense the other day that my brains were starting to come out of my ears. Do you think that's the same thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay. It's going to be interesting to see now what kind of attention you pay to this. And please feel free to give us a call back in. Give us an update. Okay?
Oh, thank you, Dr. Pat. All right. Thanks, ladies. I so appreciate it.
Oh, you bet.
You're welcome.
Wow. All right, Mr. Benny.
All right, we'll travel south to Arizona. We have Nicole joining us. Hello, Nicole.
Hi, Nicole.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm awesome, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm having a pretty awesome day myself, believe it or not. So, what question do you have for Dr. Susan Barnes?
Hi, Dr. Barnes. My question is, I'm a dreamer. I have a lot of interests, and I feel like my life purpose involves the healing arts. And I've been doing intuitive work, but I've been feeling a strong pull to do mediumship work. But there's some hesitation, some nervousness, and I've also been feeling a pull to create my own probiotic drink and market it to families as a healthier alternative to soda and as a healing drink. And I'm just kind of not sure if I'm on the right path, if I'm crazy, if it's just one of my other crazy ideas.
Oh, that's okay. You can join me on the crazy train. That's all right. That's why I'm here.
No, but those things all sound wonderful. I mean, and I'm, as a person who does a lot of different things, I say yes to all of the above. But I would tell you, yeah. I mean, if you could do the intuitive art, that's great. That's wonderful. I mean, and with the intuitive art, sometimes messages come through. I mean, they do for me and they do for other people. But I would just advise you that if you want to do mediumship kind of work, that you do work with someone or find a mentor to tell you how to do it right. Because a lot of people are out there doing it wrong, and it's bad for all the mediums.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean that what Dr. Susan is talking about is probably one of the most important things for you to contemplate. And I think it's a combination, right, Dr. Susan, of doing your due diligence, tapping into your intuition, right?
Mm-hmm. But the other thing you can do, and this is something everybody can do as long as they have a computer, you can look into the Spiritualist National Union International, SNUI, and for a very reasonable amount of money, I think it's 20 pounds, which is like under $30, you can sit in on any of their classes and you can learn mediumship and you can find out about it.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
So that's the way. I suggest that to anyone, especially if you're not clear and you're in an area where you don't know where there really is like a reasonable medium, that you go there. And it's a church-run organization, so they're not doing it to make money. I mean, they're doing it out of the kindness of their heart and volunteering their time. So that's the kind of people you want to start with.
Awesome.
Perfect. It's SNUI, you said, right? The abbreviation?
Yeah, SNUI. Yeah.
Perfect.
Usually you just type in SNUI, it comes up on the internet.
Great.
Wow, that's exciting. I can't wait to hear what you find out. Please check back with us, would you?
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to.
I know. We'd like to spread the word.
If she was in my area, I'd invite her to the spirit art class.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, who knows where I'll end up?
Yeah, I know it. Wow. Let's make sure everybody out there has information about Dr. Susan before we go to break, and then we're going to continue to take your calls. One more time, Dr. Susan, please let folks know how they can find out more about you. And as you said, if they're close to where you reside, they can do a whole lot of things with you.
That's right. That's right. I'll just say this. If anyone lives in Pennsylvania or New York around me here, I'm near Lilydale, New York, which is the big spiritualist place. And, I do art classes on Wednesdays, and I do readings at the place called Crossroads on Saturdays. So if you're in the area, stop by. If you're not in the area, you can check my website at www.spiritartgallery.net, or you can email me at psychicprofessors@gmail.com.
Wow. What we're going to do is we're going to take a short break. If you want to find out more about us, you can go to www.thedrpatshow.com, and doctor is DR. And there are a bunch of other ways to get there. Just Google Dr. Pat. The other thing is to go to transformationtalkradio.com, and you're going to find out lots and lots and lots. You can listen to past shows that we've had with Dr. Susan Barnes. You can go ahead, all of the above. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, as we said before, yep, we haven't changed our minds. Call-in number 1-800-930-2819. And don't worry, Benny's really kind of cool. He'll put you in the queue. We'll get you on air. We'll get your questions, all of the above. We're going to take a short break, everyone. We will be right back. And then I got some questions here that people have sent us. Martha, Chris, I will get right to you. We'll be right back.
I need a sign to let me know you're here. All of these lines are being crossed over the atmosphere.
Gain powerful insight and practical tools to support you on your spiritual journey. Access your higher self and tune in every second and fourth Thursday at 12 p.m. Pacific to A Life Untethered with Andrew Martin, Walking the Path of Freedom. Andrew is a highly attuned, intuitive oracle, energy worker, spiritual teacher, and international radio host. For more about Andrew and his services, visit thelightedones.com.
Wow. Hey, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. This is Talk Radio to Thrive By. I'm telling you, I got to pinch myself some days, because when each of us gets called to do something that we so not thought was in our wheelhouse to do for a purpose that's so much greater than us, we get to show up and shine.
If you would like to show up and shine on the Dr. Pat Show as a co-host or sponsor, send us an email to inspire@thedrpatshow.com.
Brand consultant Jen Morgan is here with Radically Distinct Radio to help you take control of your future and maximize your brand's power to produce results. Whether you're an individual trying to reinvent yourself and launch a new venture, or you're an executive trying to reposition your company to modernize your sales and marketing programs, Jen Morgan and the RAD Method empower you to play to your strengths and show up in the world as your most powerful brand. To learn more, go to jenmorgan.com. That's Jen with 2 N's, Morgan.com, or call 206-972-5366.
The Earth is an ever-changing being. Goddess Light Shamanic Healer Bree Gibbs guides us through the ascending worlds, bringing forth knowledge and truth. As a light creator, she is here to provide new information needed at this time in our evolution. Join Bree as she shares messages from guides, spirits, ascended masters, goddesses, and others. Tune in the second and fourth Monday, 11 a.m. Pacific, and Thursdays, 1 p.m. Pacific for Silver Gaia Radio.
Do you keep attracting the same type of guy over and over? Do you believe all of the good guys are taken and you might be single forever? Hi, my name is Deb Acker, and in addition to being the host of Truth Talk Radio, I'm an intuitive life coach and energy healer. I clear energy blocks to all areas of life, including love. Did you know that many times the thing that keeps us attracting the same type of person is energy related? What if you could complete this pattern for good to attract conscious, loving men? Don't think it's possible? Several years ago, this is where I was, and I went on a journey to figure out how to undo this for myself, and I now help others with this. I love helping clients clear this pattern for good to have the love they so desire and deserve. If this resonates for you and you're ready to be truly done attracting the same type of person, I'd love to gift you with my pattern identification session. Simply contact me on the contact page of my website, DeborahAcker.com. That's DeborahAcker.com. And let me know you heard about this gift through Transformation Talk Radio. I look forward to connecting soon.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Dr. Susan Barnes is in the house. Before we go to the phones and go to our instant messages and get Martha on here, and again, please tell folks how they're going to be able to find out more about you, and also how can they work with you?
Oh, that's easy. All of my information is on my website, which is www.spiritartgallery.net. No punctuation, just one long word, Spirit Art Gallery.
Awesome.
So if they go there, they can find out everything, and I'm even going to post. I will be doing some Facebook events soon, and so go there and look for it.
I love it. Thank you. Now let's go to our instant feedback. Let's take Chris from Linwood. I seem to be at a crossroads in my job. I'm unsure if my decision to give my 5-year plan continuation and eventually being given what I am working for, or I should give up my goal and move on. And you and I, Dr. Susan, were talking about, what does a medium do? And maybe we can shed a little light here and see how we might help Chris.
Yes. Well, Chris, first of all, a medium can't tell you what to do, and a psychic can't tell you what to do. I mean, they can give you a little bit of encouragement, and if you're looking for some insight into what you should do, one of the things you could do is ask Spirit. Ask Spirit. A good thing to do is do it before you go to sleep at night. Say, I would really like to know which way to go. And lots of times when you wake up in the morning, you'll get a clearer answer. But the way you'll know it's right is if it feels right in your heart. And just remember, life is a journey, so nothing's written in stone.
Wow, I love it. Thank you. Benny, let's go to the phones.
Kay from LA. Kay, welcome to the show.
Hey, Kay, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for taking my call.
Awesome. You bet. How can we help you today?
So I have been getting a lot of signs in the last year, but I'm not sure who or what or why. A lot of dandelions, the white ones. So I don't even know if those are signs. I mean, but when I randomly get it, like in my car, or, and then one time I saw in my office, which I thought was a dandelion. It was a white, tiny feather. At first, I thought it was a dandelion because they were very common everywhere, and then there was a white, tiny feather that landed right on my desk, and I thought that was really odd because it was in my office. I mean, of course, I could have tracked it in with my feet and everything. You always try to think outside the box. But is there anything you're getting for me? Like, are these signs or not?
Yes.
Or if it is, what is it?
Okay. First of all, I have to tell you, I just had another friend who told me a dandelion story, and she was outside doing dandelions, and then she got a reading from a medium that told her that was her father, and her father was saying, I really like seeing you outside with the dandelions. So that's definitely a message. Now, let me deal with the feather first. The feather that you received, that's called an apport. An apport. And what that is, that's when spirit materializes an object for you. So, yes, you can go around saying, oh, yeah, maybe I walked it with my shoe, but wouldn't it be a little bit dirty? Wouldn't we be a little bit messed up? And I'm sure the feather was a very nice one. So spirit does this, and they do this to people all the time. I've received several apports during my lifetime. So don't think it's unusual. And, yes, they can materialize anywhere. There doesn't have to be a bird around. So that is spirit telling you they're there. Now, they're trying to make you aware of their presence. Now, I don't know if there was someone in your life that you associate with feathers or with maybe Native American types of things. That would be the person that might be trying to get in touch with you. Or it could just be spirit trying to say to you, wake up, use your spirit intelligence, use your spirituality more.
What is it that can be said about that? Because we sometimes try to, what was it, Einstein said, listen, you can't solve the problem at the level that it was created. But boy, we try like heck to do that. And so is this the way for us to call in and get new awareness, Dr. Susan?
Yes, and it could just be spirit trying to say to us, okay, don't block us out. Really, bring us into your lives a little bit more. I mean, even if it's just taking a minute every day and meditating or being quiet and saying, Spirit, I want to communicate with you. And the other way that it works, too, is the way you treat other people. If you're positive and you're open and you're loving, then Spirit will come more to you.
Thank you.
Wow. Well, that's fascinating. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for calling in.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. We got a question that came in here from Martha. Hi, Pat and Susan. I'm wondering if I'm really getting signs from Spirit or if I'm just making it up because I want it so much. Thanks, Martha. That's a great question.
It is a great question. But that's really gets to the heart of what I wanted to tell people today, is that, no, you're not just making it up. Don't doubt yourself. And I think this is one of the things, especially with people who are trying to become mediums, they doubt themselves and then they can't do it. So if you actually accept it and say, yes, this is possible, this is really happening to me, and embrace it rather than reject it, it'll be better for you. You'll begin to understand what they're trying to tell you.
Wow. Let's talk about a couple of other things, though, here for a minute before we get back to the phones. One of them is what I said. Sometimes when we're really in the thick of it, Dr. Susan, we don't think to hit the pause button. We don't think to stop for a minute and perhaps, connect with Spirit, right? We start to do all sorts of other things. Can you give us some tips, some tools, when we're in the middle of the stuff? What would you suggest we do? How do we go about this?
Well, and I should say, even for myself, and it's gotten better, I don't let little things bother me, and I don't get worked up over trivial matters. And if things are really, really tough, then I'll sit down and I'll take a moment. And part of it might be quieting myself down, but part of it, too, is lots of times asking Spirit for help. I mean, they will guide you. That's what the angels and the Spirit communication is all about. And everybody has an angel with them. So if you just really, really open your heart and you can start to listen to some of the things they're trying to tell us, then you slow down and all of it starts to fall into order again.
I think we still have a caller waiting. So, Mr. Benny, let's go to the phones if we could.
We do. We have Christine from Gig Harbor. Hello, Christine.
Hi, Christine.
I'm glad to get through on the phone today.
And I'm glad we got you through on the phone today. How can we help you?
Well, I have some loved ones, of course, on the other side. So I was just wondering, I've been listening to what you're saying about the signs and the feathers and all that, but I was wondering if you hear any messages from the loved ones that I lost last year.
If I hear them, or if you hear them.
Well, if you're getting, I mean, if there's any messages out there, because like a lot of people, we question, is that really coming from my loved one, or am I making that up?
Look, let me just say this to you. If the thought reminds you of a loving moment with your loved one that you spent, then it's real. Anything that comes out of positivity and love is real, And the one thing that spiritualists believe is that thoughts are things. So the way we think is very, very important. And also, these thoughts are how spirit communicates with us. So we don't want to dismiss those thoughts. We want to embrace them. And we want to take a moment and say, yes, Grandma, I remember you when you made cookies for me. That was great. Or, Dad, I really appreciated it when you did this for me. So it's always a positive type of thing.
Okay, well, yeah, that makes sense then, yeah. Well, I lost my dad and my mother-in-law last year within 4 months of each other, which was a big loss for me. And my mother had a stroke as well, so I felt like I lost 3 of my parents all in a matter of a few months. So
don't think of it as loss. Don't think of it as loss. I mean, unfortunately, they can no longer physically be with you, but spiritually they are. And I'm sure that at times you almost feel the presence of your dad around you, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. And when you feel that, it's real.
Okay.
He's there. He's helping you. He's there to say, look, I'm giving you a little extra love and support so that you can do the things you need to do in your life. And take a moment and be happy and thankful that he was a wonderful dad.
Okay, I will do that. That's really wonderful.
Thank you.
Wow.
He had Alzheimer's, so he couldn't communicate for the last 3-4 years. So now to have him on the other side and have his mind back or have his thoughts back is kind of like a blessing.
Yes. And the other thing, it's interesting, the other thing that happens with Alzheimer's patients is that sometimes, even though they're still alive, they can communicate through mediums because half the time they're in the spirit world and half the time they're in the physical world.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've had that happen to me, but also it's really interesting. My mother also has Alzheimer's and is not communicative, yet when I go down and see her, I looked in her eyes and I got communication. I knew what she was feeling and what she was trying to tell me. So, yeah, it is hard. But, yes, think about that. Think that your dad can think, he can do what he wants to do without those hindrances of the disease. He's there to give you lots of support. And you know what? I bet you that he's coming through because he feels bad that he couldn't communicate with you during the end of his life. So now he's trying to compensate for that by communicating with you as much as he can through spirit.
Oh, great. That's wonderful.
Wow, that's amazing. Wow. Thank you for calling in. It's got to be really heart-opening to really know that, right? You think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think sometimes we feel so alone and disconnected. And, yet at the same level, we know there have been moments where, there's just been something that transcends all of that loneliness and disconnect. And that's love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to meeting Susan in person at the Afterlife Symposium in Phoenix this September.
Yes. I will be there. I will be at the Afterlife Symposium in Phoenix. I'll be there, and I'll be talking about physical phenomena and probably a little bit about this physical phenomena in everyday life. But, yeah, great. Definitely come up and say hello.
I sure
Wow. Wow. I mean, how much fun. I wish I was going. Maybe I'm going to have to go now.
Yes, maybe you should.
I'm going to have
to. Great event.
Yeah. Dr. Susan, can you tell everybody how they can find out more about that event?
Yes, it's afterlifestudies.org. And I believe, if I don't, I'll put it up in the next day or so. I'll get you all a link on my website to it as well. But it's, afterlifestudies.org. And the other site they have is Afterlife Research. These are both one word, .org. And the whole organization is dedicated toward trying to do research and better understand what happens with afterlife communication.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's afterlifestudies.org, right?
Afterlifestudies.org, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. What I want to do is I want to kind of go ahead, Benny, and skip the break if we could, and talk with you, Dr. Susan, about, looking at what it is we can do better. And what I mean by that is sometimes there are some very simple things, tools, tips, things we can do. And I think if we know what they are, then we can get things moving. I think sometimes we get a little confused, like we have to jump through a hoop of fire in order to have any communication. So please shed some light on this.
Well, I have to tell you, and a friend of mine lives this every day, is being grateful, being grateful for what you have. And, it's like, this is a materialistic thing, but at Christmas times, I usually get some money, and this year I got half the money that I normally get. So instead of saying, oh, no, why didn't I get bonus, and complaining about it, I just said, I am grateful for what I was given. And being grateful and thankful and not spending time doing any negative things really changes your life, really brings the positive back to you. And it's as simple as saying, I'm grateful for my friends. I'm grateful when somebody does something for you, say thank you. I appreciate it. That little small thing means a lot to somebody else. When I get that message from my friend that says, oh, I'm grateful, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel happy. And it's just a little spark of niceness that is brought into my life. So if you do that for others, and it shouldn't be just a little thing, hold the door for somebody going in and out of the store. Make sure that you always thank people for things they do for you. It's like in my own family, whenever I get a gift from someone in my family, I always make sure that I call them and say thank you. They don't always do that to me, but that's okay because I know I'm doing the right thing.
Wow. I want to get back to a couple of other things that we touched upon earlier. When we first started the show out, we were talking about, Spirit Art Gallery. And I want to ask you about Spirit Art Gallery because, someone said to me a while ago, a lot of people that have this psychic ability are usually very creative people. Now, I'm just interested in you sharing a little bit of Spirit Art Gallery, what it is, with our listeners and how that has come to you, how you integrate both.
Well, it's interesting. The way it first started happening was when I first started going to England and taking courses in mediumship, one of the first things I saw, I was offered a spirit art class, and my background is as an artist. I went to Pratt. I was a professional graphic designer before I did this. And so I took the class. And from there, I started collecting the samples of different spirit art from different people. So in the Spirit Art Gallery, we have a permanent collection of five or six different types of spirit art. And then in the main gallery, we have spirit art that people have done that is for sale that they can buy. And it ranges. It all ranges. I even have works by Carl Jung, the psychologist. And his works are spiritual to me because of the mythology and the whole question and the nature of the work that he was writing in his Red Book. Another artist, she does things with animals. She does lots of like almost totem kinds of images with crows and butterflies and birds. Another one does zodiac types of things. And, of course, my best friend, Shannon Taggart, does the spirit photography. So we have all of these different things here for people to see and for people to explore. And also, if they want to buy something, they can do that.
Yeah. There's an energy in creativity, isn't there, though, Dr. Susan?
Yes.
I've had moments of it where different points in times of my life, like when I moved to Seattle, for example, and I just started to draw and sketch. And I have to tell you, I never took a class, never studied it. And I created some artwork that I couldn't explain. And when people looked at these sketches, they said to me, wow, how did you? And you know what? I did it for a period of time, never picked up the sketch pad again. But there are moments that we go through these phases. Is this spirit trying to express?
It very well could be. Now, I'll just have to say one other thing.
Mm-hmm.
One of the types of art that I personally do, because I do a lot of different things, is encaustic wax, where I melt the wax and I paint with the wax. And I make cards out of these panels of wax. And it's totally random. I don't sit there, I don't think, I don't put any intention except for, spirit into the cards. But when I use them in readings, I have the person pick a card, and inevitably in their card, I will see the face of a loved one. And most of the time, that face has some kind of resemblance or some relationship to the person that's in spirit. And the faces kind of fade out and disappear a little bit on the card. So I'm getting some physical phenomena.
Wow. Well, this is really a time where I think we were talking with Marge Potasic during the last show about the evolution of consciousness. And I wonder, in looking at this and just sitting back and listening to you, Dr. Susan, how amazing you are and how you're fully expressed. If this really isn't a time for us to really step forward and fully express.
Yes, but I'll give you my theory on this.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I won't go academic. I'll just give my theory. My theory is, in the past, and this has been documented, in the past, people used to hear two voices. They used to hear their own voice, but then they would hear another voice in their head, and I believe it was spirit. And I believe that in the past, we were able to listen and hear spirit. But because of all our technology and language and this and that and cultural concepts, we stopped being able to do that. So if you just take a moment and really open yourself up, you can hear those voices again.
I love it. Dr. Susan Barnes, everybody. I'm Dr. Pat. What a great show today. Please go to spiritartgallery.net. And again, you can go see Dr. Susan in person. She's going to put that up on her website as well as we will. Thank you all for tuning us in, turning us on. Dr. Susan, personal message. What do you want to leave us with?
Just remember to share a little love with someone else.
I'm sending the love your way, Dr.
Send that love
Susan.
out there and take a moment and send it to the world.
I love it.
It'll be a better place to live.
And guess what? Every single one of us can do that. All right, everybody, stay tuned. Another hour coming up on Transformation Talk Radio.
You've been listening to the Psychic Professors Show with Dr. Susan Barnes, the Voices of Spirit Radio. Dr. Barnes' deep knowledge of spiritual issues provides an hour of lively talk and discussion about everything from historical facts to transcommunication. To download this show or any past shows, or to learn more about Dr. Susan and her spirit-inspired art, visit spiritartgallery.net.
The preceding audio was via a Skype call.